Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk about the very strange love triangle between Quinn, Wade, and Maggie. Man, I have a major migraine right now. Like, y'all have no idea. Oh, and also I have like tinnitus. So, like, if you know what tinnitus is or has it, then you know my head is like exploding right now. Anyways, yeah, so. In Sliders, there was only one. Well, actually, tell you the truth, there was no real relationship in Sliders because none of the characters ever dated each other. However, there were like attractions to each other. In the third season, Remy had an attraction to Wade, um, but it never went nowhere. And after the professor died, it really didn't go nowhere. However, there was the main character of Quinn, and he had a very odd, like, love triangle attraction when it came to that of Wade and when it came to that of Maggie. Basically, it was the ultimate will they, won't they thing. And I've never seen another show where that phrase was more stronger than when it comes to Quinn and his women. And so, like, in the first in the first 2.5 seasons, it was all about like Quinn and Wade. Then of course when the actress Sabrina left the show, it became mostly about Maggie and Quinn in about 2.5 seasons again. And so, well, no, I take that back because in the fifth season he left, a season and a half. And so, you know how shows always like to do stuff, they love the ship crap. And so, like, since there was only like Wade in the show, the only female at that time, they shipped like Quinn and Wade together. And then, of course, when Maggie showed up, they started shipping those two together. But both relationships, the whole will they, won't they thing, went in two completely different directions. And it's so strange and odd because like that's all it really ever was, the will they, won't they. They never pulled that true trigger and let them be like a relationship. And so when it comes to both of them, now Quinn has kissed both of them, but he's never clickety clacked none of them. However, the closest he ever came to clickety clacking Maggie was in season 4 in two separate episodes, which I will get into a little bit later. And so, how did all this start? Well, as we all know, that Wade, the professor, and Quinn went on a trip through the multiverse. Rembrandt got sucked in, literally. And they became our four protagonists of the shows, sliding from one world to another. As a result of that, they never really truly got back home, and they desperately tried. During this time, in the very first episode, the pilot, we see that Wade had an attraction to Quinn. And we first saw this when they was working at their job in the computer store or a computer electronics store. And she kept talking to him with this big smile on her face and not so much googly eyes, but just like a happy, hey, I'm happy to see you kind of like smile, like take notice of me type thing, you know? And him being who he is, he was just like non-observant to that. He was just like about his business, working, trying to like contemplate what he just like experienced with the whole first slide and everything. And then of course when things started acting strangely and everything, um from his double, he found out that his double and Wade kissed and everything. So that really started the sparks between her liking him. But still, he didn't necessarily like her back. He said he would never do that to her because they're like buds and everything. Like they're really good friends. This really like irks her and everything to where she's just mad. And so after that, she didn't talk to him until her and Professor went to his house. They slid and this and that. And oddly enough, in the first season, Wade and Quinn are barely like they have scenes together, but they're always apart from one another. So the whole will they won't they thing, it was kind of like stretched to where it really was non-existent. Mainly because like either she would be indisposed or he would be busy doing something else. And so like cuz it's kind of crazy cuz like in that pilot again, when they was on the ice world and they slid and everybody slid back, but Quinn was the last one to slide back. She was worried, she was praying to God that he comes back. He finally slid. She has tears in her eyes and he's just kind of wondering like what happened. Did you like hit your head? She's just kind of like, you idiot, you're like one of the smartest people she knows and you can't figure out that she likes you. And so like they go the rest of the episode not even like bringing anything about feelings until they slid on that Russian world. Boy, that sounds weird saying that after what's going on overseas. So they slid on that world where I'm not even gonna say that they like on what country because that's just I don't want to predict no type. I'm telling you, man, this show predicted too much crap. I hope that prediction does not ever come true and stuff. But anyway, they own that world, and when they are captured by the resistance force, the one of the commanding dudes kisses Wade, which really kind of Quinn is just kind of like just staring down, kind of like, oh my god, like what is going on? And it was kind of like then he started to like have feelings for her because he started to get jealous, which is something he gets jealous a lot when it comes to Wade and her men because I guess he was able to like pick up eventually that she did have feelings for him. And so that kiss kind of just made him go, huh. And so he started getting jealous. And then when her double died in that battle, he assumed it was her and he was just like heartbroken and everything. But he was probably mostly heartbroken because they're really good friends, you know what I'm saying? But then he was starting to like have attraction to her, and of course, nothing came of it. Then in the next 3 episodes, I'll say, because after that, I forget which episodes come in order, but I do remember it was the one where everybody got sick. It was that one hippie world, and then it was the one where the asteroid's about to destroy Earth and everything. The hippie world, those two are just apart from the entire episode. And as for the sick world, well, once again, they're apart. And in the sick world, he is kind of given a love interest. It's the love interest of the other Quinn, but he's not interested. You know, it's funny. In season 1, Quinn doesn't have, I don't believe, no love interest whatsoever. Like, not even like a fling or nothing like that. And so, in the asteroid world, the one that's about to hit the Earth and everything, was it a meteorite or was it an asteroid? I forgot. Anyway, something's about to crash onto the Earth. And so as he's desperately trying to like, you know, just like slide on out of there and build like, oh, he's trying to remodify the time travel equipment of the other dude who wanted to go see dinosaurs. It goes haywire. And those two finally talk and they're finally able to have like a nice romantic dinner that she cooked. And like she talking about how she has like no regrets because like, you know, no matter what, they're gonna be like millions of other ways out there. And then those two finally are starting to have that moment and they kiss, but then it's interrupted by the professor. And after that, nothing. They just went like their own separate ways, still being friends and everything. And nothing became of that. And it's just kind of odd, you know what I'm saying? Like after that huge passionate kiss they had, nothing perspired from that. And the thing is like we know she did it because she liked him. Him, it was probably more along the whole, well, we're gonna die, so might as well do something. I mean, that's pretty much that's one of the main things on people's minds when they think the world's coming to an end is, let's smush. You know what I'm saying? And stuff. And chances are they probably would have if the professor never like interrupted them and everything. But then we get that last episode of season 1 where it's like the lottery world. And since they slid on so many different worlds and Quinn has not made a move on her yet, she went her own way, and that whole feelings that she had for him just like ended after that. And she moved on to a different guy, which makes him once again jealous. And it's like he doesn't like nobody owns anybody, but it's like that's not even his girlfriend, and he's always getting jealous when every time she's around another dude because he sees how happy he could be, but he just won't go that route. He probably won't go that route because in the first season, like I said, he had no love interest, but he was more focused on trying to get back home and also staying alive. So all that was like in his head, rounding around. And but then when it gets to season two, it's interesting because that same guy that she fell for slid with them on the other world. But when Quinn got shot, she stayed by Quinn's side. And the other dude could see that. Ryan, I think his name was. And Ryan left. And Quinn even asked her, I forgot something he asked her something about like any regrets or like something. And she's all like, I'm just happy you're alive. And it's kind of like she could have been with this other dude and she chose to be with the man who she's known for a very long time but doesn't necessarily want her back. And so it's that whole like it's like an obsession, but not really. It's like a devotion type thing. And once again, nothing became of them in that episode. And then many episodes pass after that. Now, he's never given a true love interest in season two either. But he is starting to be paired with more women after by season two and season three. And but there's never really no true like love feelings he have for any of them except for Dalen Richards. And so like as they're constantly sliding, once again, neither one of them pursues their relationship. Neither one of them talks about it with the other person. Neither one of them talks with either Rembrandt or the professor. And so they pretty much just off screen just gonna stay friends until she starts to fall in love with another dude and he gets jealous again. Now she's with that psychic dude, Derek Bond, I think his name is, and that makes Quinn extremely jealous because not only is she falling for this dude, but she's head over heels for him. And it's kind of like Quinn's being a child. Like, you know how a kid sees another kid playing with a toy, so that kid automatically wants that toy, but then once they get it, they don't want nothing to do with it. That's how Quinn is when it comes to Wade. He sees her in the possession of somebody else, so he wants her to play with her, but then he doesn't play with her. and so, and so, like, when it comes to the whole Dalen thing, she didn't care that Quinn was pursuing her. In fact, she probably didn't even know because Quinn kept that hush hush and everything. The only person who knew was Rembrandt. And so, like, then we get, of course, to the third. No, wait, before I go to that, we got that one other episode, the famous episode of season two, which Professor slid. So they're on that world, they think they're back home. And the moment they get back home, for some odd reason, him and her kiss again. And it's kind of like, okay. Does that mean y'all gonna be like together? Or y'all just happy y'all back home? Or y'all gonna start a relationship? Because y'all had plenty of other relationships y'all could have done it with other people in other worlds and did like and never could have seen them again, you know? So it's kind of like, what's the deal, you know? And then after that one kiss, nothing. They both went their separate ways because he was too busy trying to prove that they're not on that world while she's trying to prove that, hey, this is our world and let's be famous and rich, until he has to give her the devastating news that, you know, they are not on their earth. He consoles her, but as a friend and a friend only. Then now we get to season three. And in season three, Quinn has completely just doesn't care about Wade in a relationship kind of way. And in fact, when they slide to other worlds, she even tells him like, what was no wait, was that him or Maggie? Something he did with some tribal. No, it was her. She said she smiled at like this dude, and he thought she wanted to have his baby. That was that one where it was kind of like 13 Nightmare on Elm Street type world, where she was like being pursued by that like crazy psychic killer dude, and just like, yeah, nothing became of them, and she would see him in other relationships with other people in season 3, and like nothing, like that world where he traveled and he saw his younger self, he pursued his teacher. She didn't care. She didn't care because she's been over him, and she's been over him for like a very, very, very long time. And then, like, the whole her and Rembrandt thing, I don't even think he knew about that. But then in that one episode, that's kind of like a flashback episode. Technically, what it was is that they filmed it when the professor was alive, but they never aired it. And then they decided to air it when Maggie was on the team and professor was dead. And she confessed to Quinn that oh, no way, I'm getting episodes mixed up. No way, she confessed to Rembrandt in that fire episode, the one I really hate. The Talking Flame episode. She tells Rembrandt that she just wants to have a baby. She said maybe not now, maybe a couple of years from now, but it's something she's always wanted to do. But she never said that she wanted to do it with Quinn. You'd think she would if she truly liked him still, but no. That like ship has sailed. And in that episode, that one I was about to talk about, the flashback episode, he is like when they find like that baby and stuff, he's like being like a really cool like daddy type thing, and she's very shocked and surprised by that because she's never seen that side of him, especially with children. And so it makes you wonder, was she getting these like feelings of um falling for him probably. Now I think that aired after the fire episode, so she's already confessed to Rembrandt she wanted a kid, and now she sees Quinn being lovey-dovey daddy wise, and it's kind of like maybe that like piqued her interest, but it never went nowhere because by that time, in comes Maggie Beckett. Oh, I forgot. And then there was that cool British episode where it's like it happened right after the hippie world, the summer of love. And so like they're on that world and Quinn is with the resistance, and all of a sudden the resistance female fighter, she kisses Quinn big time, which to the dismay of course, Wade. And so then Wade started getting hit on by like the Prince dude. And so at the end, Wade just kisses the prince and slides when he wants her to stay with him and marry him, which to Quinn's shock and surprise. But then when she kissed him, Quinn's just kind of like, yeah, whatever, and slides. And then, of course, she looks at the prince and then she slides and everything. And so it's kind of like he is like annoyed a little bit, but at the same time, he doesn't really care because now he's kind of like, having a little fun on his own, but he doesn't really have that much fun in season 1. And when Maggie showed up, Wade knew right then and there it's over between her and Quinn. Why? Because since day one, Quinn has been like obsessed with like Maggie. Not obsessed in the whole like romantic I love you, let's date. More obsessed in the fact is, hey, you're hot and I want to do you. Type of thing. Like he's extremely attracted to like Maggie. And what's messed up about that is Maggie is married to a husband that's paraplegic. And so throughout that whole episode, Quinn is just constantly paired with Maggie. When they go in the other world, they're about to kiss. Maggie's husband, Steven, can even see that Quinn is attracted to his wife, and he ain't too pleased by that. And the thing is, what made Quinn so attracted to Maggie, other than that of the writers? It's kind of like, was it because she's a strong woman? Is it because she's tough? Who knows, because Wade, she was never really, she's no Maggie. She's not like a brute. She's not like forceful. She's not like blunt. And maybe he likes that in women, you know what I'm saying? And because Wade is a nice girl, but Wade will stand up for herself. But even when she stands up for herself, it still sounds like she's whining almost. And it could be like a Batman, Catwoman, Talia al Ghul thing. It's just he goes for more headstrong type like women. And of course, that's what Maggie was and stuff. And of course, she always wearing those tight outfits. So it's kind of like, I guess, after sliding for so long and not doing anything with nobody, he finally just started, like, Oh, something else I forgot to mention. In that episode, that magical episode, the one where Rembrandt confesses how he loves Wade and stuff, Maggie, not Maggie, but Wade could even see that Quinn was all like feeling for this girl that he rescued and everything, looking at her all gazingly. So she knew it was like beyond over between them. But anyway, back to Maggie. So then, of course, Professor dies and they slide, but nothing becomes of Maggie and Quinn because now Maggie is so like furious over her husband dying that all she sees is red and all she wants to see is blood coming out from Rickman and everything. And so that kind of dampens their relationship because he wants to kill Rickman too. And it's kind of like, is he doing it because of the professor or he does it because Maggie wants it? And then there's that episode where the symbiote went inside her body and Rembrandt and Wade made a decision, look, we're going to leave her behind. And Quinn's like, nah, I'm staying. And they're kind of like, dude, we need you. You the only person who knows how to work like the timer in case it gets broken. You have to go back to your home planet. Well, when they thought that was his home. And he couldn't. He was so infatuated. That's the word I was thinking about before. Not obsessed, but infatuated. He was so infatuated with Maggie, he could not literally see straight. Like the man couldn't. He just started thinking with his lower extremities and everything. And it really soured the relationship between him, Rembrandt, and Wade, and especially Wade. By that time, Quinn and the whole Wade thing was dead in the water, and she didn't even want to tiptoe in those like cold, icy waters no more. And then in the episode with the zombies and everything, um, she literally cries to Rembrandt talking about she's losing everything to Maggie. And of course, she is talking about like Quinn and everything because it's like now that they're no longer gonna be a relationship, she still thinks of him as a friend and everything, and she's losing him. I don't know how long they've been friends, but they've been pretty close and everything. And so then, ironically, throughout the entire third season, nothing becomes of Quinn and Maggie. And then, of course, he finds out that Maggie cheated on her husband with Rickman. So it shows that Maggie is a cheater. So maybe that's probably like one reason why he didn't want to pursue it. And so, but then towards the very, 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 very end of that season, when they got Rickman's timer, of course, Maggie can't come with them, and they're finna say their goodbyes to her, and he says a goodbye to her with a kiss, and Wade can see that, and Wade just has a smile on her face, because Wade has moved on. And then, of course, when they slid, they got separated, all those months of sliding with him and Maggie, there's never no mention of them doing anything. Then we get into season 4, and this is when things start to like change a little bit. Now him and her are more like a arguing married couple. Every time they slide somewhere, they're like bickering about stuff, and it's even getting to the point where it's irritating like Colin and Rembrandt and stuff. And there's been several indications that both of those two like each other. Again, now it's the will they, won't they be, but now it's with him and Maggie. And so like we see that it's not just one-sided like it was with Quinn and Wade. It's both of them want each other. In fact, we know Maggie really wants Quinn. So on one of the episodes that I really liked is they was on that virtual reality world. And so Maggie assumed that she was the only person not under the influence, and she thought Quinn and Rembrandt were. And in that pretend dream state, she sees Quinn using VR simulator to smush a virtual Maggie. And she is pissed by this. And because she's just kind of like, if you want the real thing, then why don't you just come and get it? And stuff. She doesn't understand like why he won't pursue her if that's what he really wants. But then it turns out that no, it's her on the VR influence the entire time, and it's her really wanting him, but she wants him to be a man about it and pursue her, but he won't do that because he's Quinn. And she doesn't want to make like the first move and stuff like that. She'll play like the seduction game like in season 3, but that's about it. And so after that, once again, it just goes absolutely nowhere. But then, ironically, we find out before they found Colin that even though they both like each other, he was booming with like a tribal girl in another world when they slid to this one world. And it's just like, oh, Quinn is getting himself some, but not with Maggie. So of course that must irritate her. And ironically, in this season, Maggie does not pursue no man. Now in season 3, she pursued that one dude who was like smuggling snakes and everything, but he turned out to be bad because she was flirting with him and everything. But then now we get into season 3 and she's not pursuing nobody. And then we get some instances where like on one world when they about to slide, sometimes towards the end when they slide together, him and her. They'll either like look at each other and say something goofy, or they'll hold hands and they'll slide together. And it's kind of like, well, are they in a relationship or not? But we never see them in one. And then it's that one Romeo and Juliet type episode where he makes out with the girl who's a teenager, by the way. I still don't like that. And so like, but she made out with him, but he just went along with it because she thought he was Rick. And so when they finally found out like who he is and stuff, she asked him, do you have anybody special on the other side? And he's all like, he said something similar to like, he hopes that person feels about him the way he feels about her, showing that he does indeed like Maggie. And so, and that's that one episode they kept bickering like an old married couple. But then the biggest indication that they both like each other came in that one episode I really hate. The one where they slid and their mind created like a bubble world. And in that bubble world, they dated all through high school, college, got married, had a kid, and watched their kid graduate from college. And that right there was the biggest indication of who he really truly liked and everything. And but that's only because in the other world there was no Wade. But yeah, I think if he was to ever choose who he would like, it would probably be Maggie. Um, Maggie was more like fun, more loose, more erotic and everything, and that really like turned his nerdy side on. And there's something I forgot to mention. There's an episode in season 2. Oh, and then there's that world where they found the other Maggie, where the other Steven was like alive, and the bad Maggie was like all like into like Quinn and everything. And he seemed kind of like into her too, but not like super like into it. But he was like, playing along and dancing and stuff like that. I think they might have kissed. I'm not quite sure. But think then something had happened to her with her implant where she kind of like pushed him off and went off and stuff like that. That's kind of like a little fuzzy right now, so I can't quite remember. But I do remember the other Maggie had like feelings for him. But I'm not sure if he reciprocated those feelings back. But he was kind of just like, oh, she's been through a lot. She's having fun, and so like they're dancing and having fun and like all that other stuff. But then when I think something he didn't want to like reciprocate back, and then she went on to Colin, and he didn't really seem bothered by that, to tell you the truth. Where him and Wade slide to this world, and on that world, him and Wade are married. And this is the first indication that's ever shown him and Wade to ever be like in a relationship, but it's with their doubles. Of course, the other Wade killed the other Quinn, and so he doesn't know that at that time, and he has to pretend to be the other Quinn, which the other Wade is liking him a lot and kisses him all the time and stuff. And the real Wade can see this and it's just kind of like, huh. And then so Quinn, you have to wonder, did anything go through his mind when he got that kiss? Now he liked that kiss and everything, and he knows that on that world they got married. And he looks at the picture and he teases the real Wade about that. But then it's kind of like, I think if situations were different, he probably would have pursued a relationship with her, but things just happened the way they did. And I don't know. And it makes you wonder, did that Wade ever just kind of like scare him off with the real one? Like, was he ever afraid that if they were to pursue something and she dies in sliding, then how would he be able to deal with that? Because we saw how he was able to deal with that when she went missing and stuff. Now there is one other relationship in season 5 that went completely nowhere. It's the Mallory and Maggie one, where Maggie does not want nothing to do with Mallory, but Mallory has the memories of Quinn, and those memories of Quinn are very strong about Maggie, and so. And he can't help but to feel the way he does because those memories are implanted in him, which is another strong indication that Quinn really does want to be with like Maggie. So, as messed up as the writers are with the whole will they won't they be thing, I kind of wish they would have had them date for at least one season, like one of the two women, just to see where things would have went and how they would have progressed and who would have messed up what. Because chances are Maggie would have cheated on him. And chances are Quinn probably would have messed things up with Wade by getting like jealous of her being around other guys. And so this really shows the type of person Quinn is. He's jealous, he's possessive of something he does not own, and it's like he likes bold women.